And welcome back to my channel. It is IJF. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning back, welcome back. Before I get started, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also follow me on my other social media platforms because it does help out a lot. Let's get started with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. So I did love this reunion because it really kind of tapped into each character in the show. At first, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be really corny. But Will Smith has a very incredible team behind him. I mean, the guy is just a genius with his crew. So, of course, I watched the whole thing. And, of course, when we got to Janet Hubert, I got very excited. So let me get my notes out because this reunion has been a long time coming. 27 years in the goddamn making. Even older than me. Who would have thought? Obviously, when Janet Hubert came out, it was just her and Will. And when she came out, can I just say one thing? Janet Hubert looks gorgeous. I mean, when they say black don't crack, she is the exemplification of black does not crack. And y'all gonna be mad at me, but she looks way better than the light-skinned and Viv. But you know, when you got that Thorble blood in you, so little hearts look so well when you age. But that's neither here or there. So anyway, we have Will and Janet sit down, and it starts off with a bunch of hugging, a bunch of compliments, you know, all the politically correct stuff, right? I'm here for it. And then Janet tells the backstory on how she departed from the show. And I'm going to give you guys a little video on this interview.
Something I would like to clarify is during that third season when I got pregnant, there was a lot of things going on in my life and in Will's life as well. There was some friction because I was pregnant. Home life was not good at all. I was no longer laughing, smiling, joking because there were things that were going on that nobody knew about. The cast had no idea what was going on.
You know, during that time of her pregnancy, I wasn't sensitive, I wasn't perceptive. And, you know, now that I've had 3 kids, I've learned some things that I did not know at the time, and I would do things very differently. But I can see where I made the set very difficult for Janet.
They offered me this really bad deal in the third season. They said, you've got 2 months and 2 weeks of work, and you cannot work anywhere else. So that meant my salary was cut. I had a new baby and a husband who was out of work. So I said no. I did not accept their offer. I was never fired. So the misconception was always put out there. I was trapped. What could I do? So they said, okay, then we're gonna recast your role. And I said, what can I say? It's because of your success, but you were destined for that as well. But when I left the show, I had this new baby and no one. Family disowned me. Hollywood disowned me. My family said, you've ruined our name. And I wasn't unprofessional on the set. I just stopped talking to everybody because I didn't know who to trust because I had been banished. And they said it was you who banished me. Because you were Will. You were a kid. It was hard.
Yeah. I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I know.
Everything was a threat to me.
Why was I a threat?
Not you, the world. You know, I have children.
Yeah.
I've been divorced and I have a second marriage, and I can see now the level of pain and the level of struggle that it was for you just to show up every day. And then...
But you took all that away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I lost everything. Reputation, everything, everything. And I understand you were able to move forward. But you know those words, calling a Black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death. And it's hard enough being a dark-skinned Black woman in this business. But I felt it was necessary for us to finally move forward.
So as you guys saw, Janet said that they basically try to tell her, like, you know, we'll give you a 2-month contract, and after that, you know, you won't have anything else. And while you have this 2-month contract, you can't do anything else. And because this woman is very, very assured of who she was and her acting ability, she said no. Now, she also mentioned in the interview that she had a baby. Her husband had just lost his job, and she was in an abusive relationship. So after pouring her heart out to Will Smith and saying why, which is such an important part of the interview, she said, why? Why did you do this to me? I'm like, oh my God. I mean, yes, that's basically the question we all have been asking for all these years, these 2 decades and some change. And you know, Will Smith had the nerve to say, everything was a threat to me. You was a threat to me. And I'm just like, how? You are the star of the show. But of course, because Janet Huber is of a certain caliber, and because Will Smith, as he explained earlier in the reunion, he was a rapper from Philly. He had never been acting in his life. This was the opportunity that Quincy Jones had given him. So he didn't really know this side of Hollywood, you know? He was just a rapper. So of course I can understand where he said when he said that everything felt like a threat, especially like Janet Huber. He said that he really wanted to succeed in her eyes, make her proud, ... But at the end of the day, you took everything that she had worked for right underneath her. And he said that everything was a threat. He was 21 years old, and now that he is a father and a family man, he understands what he took away from her. My thing is now that you know that everything that you took away from her, what are you going to do to make up for it? Because you still are a big name in Hollywood. Are you going to, you know, give her a piece of your production money? Are you going to give her all the lost wages she had from this show? You're a Black man in America. You should know what, I'm assuming you should know what it means for a Black woman of a certain complexion will go through in America, but I guess he didn't. And again, of course, in some aspect, I want to excuse him because he was 21. When I was 21, I wasn't thinking about anyone but myself. But, well, I'm not going to even say but. I'm just going to end it there because as a Black man in America, as a young Black man who's making all this money, it's going to be hard for you to think about anyone else, especially a Black dark-skinned woman who is much older than you, who also is at the top of her career, who is looking at you in a certain manner. Let's go back to the point where Janet Huber also mentioned how she stopped talking to everyone on set because she didn't know who to trust. Will, you being the big star, the main focus of the show, I don't understand why you never went to her not once to say, Janet, can we talk? What is bothering you? What can make you feel comfortable? What can I do to make you happy or please you on the set? Of course, nothing that's going to go over my head as the main character, but what can I do to make you comfortable on the show? Let's be very honest. Janet Huber was that chick, okay? Singer, dancer, writer, everything that you could dream of in this woman. And also her representation on that show. She was a Black professor married to a Black judge in Bel Air, California. Does it get any better than that? No, it doesn't. It does not. So for them to have this conversation, I will say I very much appreciated it. But I also don't like the fact that Will Smith didn't really have much to say. And of course, the people behind the show didn't come out and say, well, we wish we would have did something different, because they're probably seeing Janet as difficult, as annoying, as, you know, hey, whatever. If you can't do it, we'll get someone else to do it. And you know what? They did the exact thing that many people would think they would do, which is go and get them a light-skinned chick, replace her with a light-skinned woman. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, when Aunt Viv became light-skinned Aunt Viv from dark-skinned Aunt Viv, she was a homebody. She was a stay-at-home mom now. She wasn't teaching classes. She wasn't even fabulously as dressed as dark-skinned Aunt Viv, and you have to come for me if you want. After they took Janet Huber off the show, what type of closure was she supposed to be given? That's my thing. Of course, one would say this reunion is the closure that she needs. No, it's not. 27 years of being out of work because of one Black man in Hollywood saying that you are difficult to work with. And she said that to Will Smith. She said, you know what you did to my character by saying that I'm a difficult woman to work with, especially with the type of complexion that I have. And it's true, because it took a long time for us to see a woman of that complexion, almost as dark as me, to see that type of woman on TV again. because she was not comfortable with certain things. And of course, I understand when you are the employee and you have an employer, you are going to be the one who go through a lot of stuff and have to change yourself and your attitude and your ways to make them comfortable. Yes, I do understand that, but it seems like they just vehemently attack Janet Huber because of minuscule things. I mean, they didn't completely even talk about why they got rid of her. She basically said that they gave her a 2-month contract. She disagreed with it, and after that, they basically lied on her. No sorries, no paycheck, nothing. Of course, I appreciate Will coming and, of course, sitting down with Janet Huber and saying, look, I apologize. I have no beef with you anymore. I'm so sorry with what I did with you. I'm so sorry for what I did to you, but I personally don't think that makes up for the 27 years of, unemployment that he caused her, And this reunion is very cute, but you caused that woman a lot. You caused that woman a lot. Again, this woman is a classically trained person. So for you to take that away from her because of one little disagreement, that's not fair. And this is not how we should do each other as people of color, as Black people in Hollywood. Keep the dirty laundry in the back. So hopefully young creators who watch this, who, feel nostalgic by watching this, they can learn from Will Smith. Just because you and someone who looks like you, who come from the same race and the same background somewhat, disagree doesn't mean you have to sell them short and, make their life terrible and miserable afterwards. That's just my take on it. But I will say I appreciate him being the bigger man and sitting down with Janet Huber. But yeah, that's my take on it. Thank you, fam, so much for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also follow me on my other social media platforms. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.